You tapping in real quick. Something light, nothing major, man. Little pick switch announcement type situation. You know what I'm talking about? Again, something light, nothing major. You know what I mean? When it comes to these women's MMA matchups, I did make two pick switches, and one from a you know, slight dog to a favorite, and the other from a favorite to a slight dog. Alice versus Melissa. I originally sided with Melissa to be the one to get it done in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I have since switched and decided to go ahead and rock with Alice to be the one to get it done in some way, shape, form, or fashion. That was the pick switch where I switched from a favorite to a slight dog. Alice is the slight dog. Then there's Jessica versus Elise. Jessica, slight dog. Elise, the favorite. I have, since switched my pick and decided to go ahead and rock with Elise in this matchup. My original pick was Jessica. You know what I'm talking about? But with all due respect to Jessica, I do believe, the money line's right. Elise should be the favorite. And I do see her winning this matchup via unanimous split or majority decision. So I did pick switch from the slight dog to the favorite in this matchup, and from the favorite to the slight dog in the other women's MMA matchup. The third women's MMA matchup, the pick is still the same. It's still Jocelyn over, however you say old girl's name. Now, on the main card, that was all on the prelims. On the main card, I did make one more pick switch, and that was from another favorite to another slight dog. And my original pick was Brady. When I first saw the matchup, just based off of how I know both of these young men approach the fight, I kind of felt like, Brady was the side to be on. Upon further investigation, I've come to the conclusion that, I'm going to go ahead and just switch my pick and rock with the slight dog in this matchup, which is Jake. So that's my three pick switches. The whole card, Robellis over Austin. Alice is a slight dog over Melissa, but it's very much a complete pass type of situation. I don't want anything to do with that fight. You should have nothing to do with that fight, so we should not have anything to argue about as far as this fight is concerned when it comes to betting and parlaying. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is just for the sake of a pick. You know what I mean? And Alice is the slight dog, is the pick. Jessica is the pick over, Elise is the pick over Jessica. But again, this is another fight I want absolutely nothing to do with. You should have absolutely nothing to do with. So we should have absolutely nothing to argue about as far as betting and parlaying is concerned. Pick-wise, chime in and sound off as you will. You know what I'm talking about? Jocelyn over old girl, Jean over Brad, Asu over Matus, and that's the prelims. You know what I'm talking about? It's one underdog on a 6-fight card for the prelims. Robellis is one of the biggest favorites on the card. Alice is a slight dog. Elise is a favorite. Jocelyn's a favorite. Jean's a favorite, and Asu's a favorite. When it comes to betting and parlaying, I really want nothing to do with anybody on the prelims except for Asu and Jean. I like those two wrapped together. You know what I mean? On the main card, this is where all my dogs are really at. You know what I'm talking about? Slight dogs for, two of them. I like Darren against Daniel. You know what I mean? That has not changed. And I pick switch from Brady to Jake, giving me another dog on the main card. But I like Jake to, defend enough of the takedowns to keep this fight upright and, just produce the better body of work over the course of 15 minutes with the cleaner boxing. And, the combinations that he strings together are just a bit, they're a bit crisper in my personal opinion. And they're going to hit a bit different, too. You know what I'm talking about? So That's those two dogs. Charles is a favorite. You know what I mean? I don't really see a night where old boy walks away victorious from Charles. I could be wrong, but I like him. You know what I'm talking about? Rob, one of the biggest dogs on the card. But I can't see getting away from that pick, man. It could very much be a situation like we had the other night with, Brandon and Tat. Kyler has looked good as of yet against the level of opposition he's looked good against. He may have one decent name on his resume, but look at the level of opposition that Rob has been up against, and he's been able to produce his body of work against. Look at his wins, look at his losses, and you can argue that just about all of his losses, maybe not all of them, but just about all of them, with the exception of maybe one or two, they would be losses for Kyler as well. You know what I mean? One thing has nothing to do with the other, but maybe Kyler comes in there being a few years younger, and his awkward style kind of catches Rob off balance. He catches him slipping and he gets him out of there, but I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They're both going to put out good volume numbers. Kyler's going to be a little bit more awkward. Rob's going to be a little bit more cleaner and crisper. Not a fan of the New England cartel, but those individuals have faced the higher level of, the top dogs in that little New England cartel have faced the higher level of opposition in their careers, regardless of how I feel about them. You know what I mean? So I'm not getting off that pick. I'm standing on that. You know what I mean? I could see Kyler winning. I can't get behind him being an almost minus 500 favorite against somebody. That kind of seems like how Tat was a minus 300 favorite over Brandon Royval, and we saw how that went. You know what I mean? The last time somebody, counted Rob out like this is when he was fighting Adrian Hernandez, and we saw how that went. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I just can't get off the Rob pick. I'm going to stand on it. It is what it is. Biggest dog on the card. You know what I mean? But I'm going to hold firm. And then Michelle, man. Michelle's a dog against, Anthony Hernandez. It's hard for me not to be on these dogs. Like, Michelle Pereira's a slight dog at plus 108. Darren Elkins is a slight dog at plus 108. But Darren Elkins against Daniel Pineda. Come on, man. Darren Elkins has gotten better individuals up out of there. You know what I mean? And they both have the damage on them. They both have the miles on them. Neither one of these individuals is coming in there with less damage than the other, man. They've both been in wars. Daniel been knocked out, you know what I mean? Knocked around. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, I'm just siding with the slight dog to get it done. And Michelle Pereira, I'm actually confident in that guy, but he just happens to be a slight dog at plus 108. You know what I mean? Jake's a slight dog. Rob's a big dog. Charles is the only favorite on the main card that I like, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Those are my pick switches, though. You know what I mean? From Melissa to Alice, and from Jessica to Elise. From a favorite to a slight dog, and from a slight dog to a favorite. And then from Brady, another slight favorite, to a slight dog, and Jake. Those are my three pick switches. You know what I mean? So the picks are Robellis, Alice, Elise, Jocelyn, Jean, Azul, Darren, Jake, Charles, Rob, and Michelle. And that's that with that, man. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not doing no individual pick switch videos. I posted, all my quick picks and everything else. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Peace and blessings.